Hey guys, Francis O'Keefe here for Go Guitar Lessons. Today we're taking a look at one of my all-time favorite guitar solos. We're taking a look at Eric Clapton's version of the song Tore Down. It's a great blues song in the key of C, and of course we're talking about C blues. Let's get right down to it and break this solo down note for note. So here's the breakdown for Eric Clapton's Tore Down. Here's the first little riff that we're gonna break down. So we're gonna hit the B string 8, B string 10, high E string 8. We're then gonna slide from 10 on the B string to 13 on the B string. And we're gonna hit that 3 times when we get there. Or 3 times in total. And then we're gonna hit 11 on the high E string and give it a blues curl. So far we should have here's the next part. So we're gonna start with our ring finger on 13 on the B string. We're gonna do a finger jump down to 13 on the high E string, and we're gonna do some staccato notes here. I believe it's 4. And then we're gonna do a bend and cut. So we're gonna bend the 13th fret high E string, and then we're gonna cut it at its peak. So far, we're gonna hit 11 on the high E string with a small blues curl. Hit 13 on the B string twice, and on 10 on the B string. Here's our next riff. So we start with 10 on the B string, 13 on the B string, 11 on the high E string, 13 on the high E string. We're gonna bend on 13 on the high E string. Back to 11 on the high E string, blues curl. Hit 13 on the B string twice. And back on 11 on the high E string. So it should look like this. Here's our next riff. So we're going to start here with 8 on the B string, 10 on the high E string with a small blues curl, 8 on the high E string, a finger roll on 10 on the high E string to 10 on the B string, and then we're going to hit 8 on the high E string. We're going to jump our ring finger over to 12 on G string. We're going to do a delayed slide down to 10. We're going to hit 8 on the G string, 10 on the D string, finger roll up to the A string and do another delayed slide from 10 to 8. 6 on the A string, and then end on 8 on the low E string. So far, here's the next part. So we start off with a bend and cut here on the G string 10. So we're going to bend it, we're going to cut it, and then we're going to hit 8 on the B string, 8 on the high E string. And we're going to bend 11 on the B string. Go back to 8 on the high E string, and then 8 on the B string. Okay. Here's the next part. So next we're going to bend here on the G string 10. We're going to cut it and we're going to hit the B string 8. Go back to the G string and do a bend release pull off. And then we're going to bend on the G string again and then go back to the B string 8. So it should look like this. Next, we're going to hit the B string again. We're going to do a slow bend on 11 on the B string. It's a bend and cut. And then we're going to hit 8 on the high E string. Do another slow bend on 11, B string, cut it, hit 8 again. We're going to do 4 more of these bends, but they're going to be, they're not going to be slow anymore. They're going to be sharp bend. Okay, so to do that sharp bend, it's got to be a quick bend, and then we have to cut it at its peak. As soon as we do the cut, we hit the high E string 8. So on the very last one, after we hit the high E string 8, we're going to slide from 11 to 13. So that whole riff should look like this. Here's the next riff. So we're going to start with a bend on the high E string 13, and it's going to cut. So bend and cut, and then 11 on the high E string, 13 on the B string, 10 on the B string. So the next part's a bit tricky. We're going to hit 13 on the high E string. We're going to pick it. We're going to do a pre-bend. We're going to bend up again without picking. We're going to drop it and do a release to 11. We're going to hit the 13th fret B string 3 times. So that whole section should look like this. Here's the next part. So we're going to slide up to 18. We're going to pick it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go back to 15. And go back to 18. And we're going to pull off from 18 to 15. We're going to go to 18 on the B string. 16 on the B string. Do a small blues curl. And then we're going to do 17 on the G string. Hit it twice and go back to the B string 16. Here's the next part. We're back to that same style of pick and pre-bend release. So we're going to hit the high E string 13. We're going to do another pre-bend. Drop it, release to 11, go to the B string 13 2 times, back to 11 on the high E string, do a blues curl, 13 on the B string again, twice, and then hit 10 on the B string. So that part should look like. Okay, here's the next part. So we're going to start here on the 8th fret G string. We're going to pick that. We're going to bend on the 10th fret G string. 8 on the B string. 8 on the high E string. We're going to bend 11 on the B string. Back to 8 on the high E string, and back to 8 on the B string. So far, we're going to pick 11 on the high E string, a hammer-on pull-off combination from 8 to 10 back to 8, back to 11 on the B string, 8 on the high E string, finger roll up to 8 on the B string, We're gonna bend the G string 10th fret, go back to 8 on the B string, finger roll up to 8 on the G string and do a small blues curl here. We're gonna hit 10 on the D string. We're gonna do a muted strike and then hit another 10. So far we have we're gonna finger roll down and we're gonna do a double stop on 10 on the G string and 10 on the B string. We're gonna do a double stop on 8, so 8 on the G string, 8 on the B string, but we're gonna hammer on with our middle finger to 9. It's important that the middle finger does not interrupt the B string, so we wanna pick both G and B string at the same time. The hammer on only happens on the G string without interrupting the B string. We're gonna hit the D string 3 times on 10. Go back to the same double stop hammer on 8 and 9. 2 double stops on double 10. Finger roll up to 10 on the D string. Another double stop hammer on 8 and 9. Pick 10 on the D string. 8 on the D string. You can do a small blues curl here, and then finally 10 on the A string. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to like the video, and if you do have any comments that you want to say, put it down in the comment section. If you have any requests for songs, or if there's something that was unclear in the video, don't forget to mention it. Okay, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.